Hello, tribe. Day 11 of the Whole Life Fitness Manifesto. Congratulations, you're well into week 2. How cool is this, right? How good you feeling? You know, it's in this constant journey of progression, not one looking for perfection. We talk about that quite often, right? And as you start to shift, like literally shift what you're going after, it's amazing how other things just sort of fall into place. You know, it's just asking yourself that one little thing every single day. What is one thing you can do today to bring you closer to living the lifestyle that you most want to live, right? And this comes down to how you fuel your body. Comes down to how you look after yourself, the kind of self-care practices or rituals that you have. Comes down to how you move your body with purpose. All these little pieces. And they don't have to be mass. We don't have to make full 180 changes overnight, but small, gradual, incremental changes compound positively over time. And that's why we do this every single day for 28 days straight, where you invest 2% of every 24 hours, 30 minutes a day, into body, mind, and spirit. And you're feeling the benefits of it right now. Now, today's day 11 is a little bit different. I'm not going to be doing the full workout with you, only because I want to challenge you to get outside, all right? Obviously, weather permitting, get outside, and you're going to do this workout outdoors, maybe at your local park, go to a beach, wherever, maybe a soccer pitch, right? But you want to do this one outside as best you can, or on a treadmill, I guess, if you don't have the access to outside. The workout specifically is, again, a 15-minute workout. The first part is you're going to walk from 60 to 90 seconds. Now, this is a brisk walk. If you're going to do an indoor standing on the spot, I want you to do a high march. You've seen me do these in past videos before, past workout days, where you really want to try to get those knees as high as you can off the ground, and it's a quick pace, right? You're marching. Now, obviously, if you're outside, you're going to be picking two sort of points, and you're going to be marching back and forth. Fairly brisk, all right? I want you starting to get the body, your core temperature, your body temperature elevated. All right, so you do that for 60 to 90 seconds. Aim for 90 seconds if you can. After that, you're going to jog for 15 to 30 seconds. 15 seconds to 30 seconds. Now, this is a jog, so you're, again, picking up the pace. From there, when you get through that 30 seconds, you're then going to do a short sprint, all right? And it doesn't necessarily have to be full, all out, because obviously if you have any joint issues like ankle or knee problems, I don't want you fully sprinting. All right, you might just maintain the jog. But if you can, I want you to up the pace just a little bit, right? Just 5% extra. And you're going to do that from 5 to 15 seconds. And so you're going to cycle through this, right, until your 15 minutes is up. Varying, you know, whether it's 60 to 90, 15 to 30, or 5 to 15. You pick. You're just going to simply have a watch or maybe your phone beeping at you every time one of those intervals complete. But that's why I say try to do this one outside. It's a great one to do at the soccer pitch, to do at a field, even on your street, on your sidewalk, you can do this, right? Hey, I'm all about getting outdoors. Outdoors is beautiful. Now, with this workout, you're going to go and do it on your own, and then obviously post comments, post below, share your results, share it on social, hashtag Whole Life Fitness Manifesto or WLFM to make it simple. But I wanted to talk today about limiting beliefs, in particular, something called self-limiting beliefs. You may or may not be familiar with this, but from the time we're little kids, little children, we start hearing certain things. We start to absorb lots of things. But in particular, some of the things that our parents may say, or teachers may say, friends may say. We start to absorb some of these comments, and our body, our mind specifically, starts to accept these as truths. It just does. You know, we want to believe certain things that we're told by people. We just do. We have this desire for knowledge and self-understanding. And what happens is we tend to have this natural desire to want to gravitate to the negative. Weird, right? But it's true. Okay, we like to just sort of latch on to the negative. And even when we have people tell us things, or we personally experience things that might be not true. And when I say this, so think about self-limiting beliefs. As an example, I had one growing up. I remember that I used to be told all the time that he's shy. Oh, don't worry, I'm shy. And I would be shy. I would be withdrawn. I would be quiet. And I remember being told that over and over again. And I remember as I aged, you know, especially as I really started to try to push against that self-limiting belief, I remember being put in situations where I had to speak openly in public. Public speaking, right? We all know that's one of the biggest fears in the world for a lot of people. And I was one of those people. I remember in grade 5, the first incident. I remember having to do a speech in front of the class. And it only had to be like 3 minutes, but I remember going up to the front of the class and not being able to say anything, forgetting anything that I was going to say. And I remember running out of the room, crying, just demoralized and absolutely, And what I was doing was I was proving to myself that those little things that were said were true. Fast forward, grade 8, same thing happened again. Or was it grade 7? Grade 7 or 8, happened again. And then again in grade 10. And it's funny, I had these things keep recurring. I kept breaking down, not being able, and telling myself, I'm quiet, I'm shy, I'm an introvert. You know, and up till 10 years ago, I finally did something about it. Because deep down, I knew that wasn't necessarily true. But the subconscious, all of our subconsciouses have these things that we believe about ourselves. And deep down, we know they're not true, yet subconsciously, we always are trying to seek things to prove it as true. Why? It's just the way the mind works. And a lot of times, it's these negative things. So when you start thinking about some of your self-limiting beliefs, maybe it's feeling that you're not good enough. Maybe it's feeling that, I won't be successful enough. No one's going to like my message. I see a lot of people that are very creative, and they hold back on allowing their artistic, creative side flourish and bloom and just go with it. And it's such a subjective thing, yet they're their own worst critics. And a lot of times we just don't give ourselves the credit where credit is due. We undermine ourselves before it's even begun. I remember 10 years ago, at the age of 32, I walked into a Toastmasters. If you don't know what Toastmasters is a forum for people to go and practice public speaking. Very supportive, very forgiving, very welcoming. And I remember going in there and just being petrified, right? And not wanting to participate because this would involve me getting way outside of my comfort zone. Way outside of my comfort zone. And so I remember just challenging that. Literally challenging that. Because the first thing you got to do when you have a self-limiting belief is, one, you have to challenge the belief. You got to challenge it. Or else you just accept it as absolute true, and then you don't want to change it after that. Yet the people that I work with, my clients that I coach and help and mentor, I know there's all these little beliefs that undermine us living to the fullest potential, doing the things that we most want to do. And so what's really important is you have to challenge this limiting belief first and foremost. Now, once you challenge it, what I want you to do, because you're going to pick one self-limiting belief, and this is all you're going to focus on. You're going to first challenge it. You're going to say, this is not true. I know it not to be true. And then you're going to do this next step. The next step is asking yourself, what would you need to do to be the opposite of that self-limiting belief? So for myself, I believed I was an introvert. And because I was an introvert, I avoided public situations. I avoided public speaking. I avoided anything that would cause me to be outside of that comfort zone. And this is, self-fulfilling prophecy at its finest, because I believed I was an introvert. I would then not put myself in situations where I would be a little bit nervous or be a little bit scared or have to put myself out there. And in turn, that would reinforce that negative belief. And so it was just this thing that kept compounding. It was really hard to break it. So I challenged it, and I started to ask myself, what would I need to be in order to be an extrovert? And to me, the biggest thing that I believed would be the opposite of an introvert is being a public speaker. Speaking in front of hundreds, sometimes thousands of people, and sharing a message. All eyes on you. I think that's pretty extroverted. So to me, I believe that to be the opposite. And then once you've got that figured out, once you start figuring out, well, what do I have to be in order to be not this, to be the opposite of that? You then have to ask yourself, how do I act as if? So I want you to start living and doing as if you were the opposite. So for myself, it meant I had to start public speaking. I had to put myself outside that comfort zone. I had to go to Toastmasters. And when they said, hey, who wants to volunteer to come up here and do a little talk? I put my hand up. I was like, I'm in, because I had to challenge it, right? I had to go against that grain. 32 years, it's not like me just looking in the mirror and saying, okay, today I'm going to be a great public speaker. I hear a lot of people say, look in the mirror and you make this decision and it just happens. It doesn't. Come on, we got a lot of conditioning we have to work through. And for myself, it was 32 years of believing I was an introvert, believing I was shy. And I had to challenge it. Believe me, I still challenge it. It doesn't come naturally. But I work on it, and I work on it, and I work on it. I know it's not true. I know I can be anything I want. Just like you can overcome any self-limiting belief as well. So then you start acting as if you are that. In my case, I started acting as if I was the extrovert. And yeah, it was scary. It pushed me way outside my comfort zone. But the more I did it, the more I realized I could do it. And that self-belief, that self-confidence started to build. The same is going to apply to you. Whatever that self-limiting belief is. First of all, challenge it. Accept that you know it's not true. As much as our subconscious will try to reinforce and find proof, you know, I had a client that believed that they were stupid, believed that they were dumb. I'd hear them say this, I'm just dumb, I can't pick up these new skills. And meanwhile, they would do tests, and every once in a while they'd have a test and they'd just do phenomenally well. Well, you know, it's a matter of skill, right? It's a matter of learning. And all of a sudden you have one great test, one great performance, you know, that is proof that you can achieve. And yet, as soon as we have another bad experience, or we do poorly on a test, or do poorly at an event, we then lock on to that negative activity and say, well, you see, I was absolutely true. It was absolutely right. I am dumb. It's not the case, okay? It's never the case. But we have these beliefs that we've locked onto. So, you're going to challenge your self-limiting belief, whatever that is. If you have multiple, don't worry. We all got multiples. Just pick one, all right? The biggest one, the one that you want to conquer the most. Then you're going to ask yourself and write a list of what do you have to be to not be that, right? So it's pretty much the opposite. Like I said before, you know, what would I have to be to be an extrovert? You know, and I just made a list, and public speaking was the top. And then I had to say, as if, act as if. How would I need to act as if I was an extrovert? And that's where public speaking came into place, and where it came to doing events, doing Facebook Lives, right? Recording videos, all that kind of stuff. So that's how you're going to challenge that self-limiting belief. And I'm going to close today with one little thing. There's a great story. You know, some of us, especially when we ask, how did we get this self-limiting belief? Why do I believe the things that I believe? And some people don't have an answer. We just don't. Well, there was an interesting study done many years ago. There's 5 monkeys put into a room. Now, these 5 monkeys had a ladder in the middle of the room that they all had access to. And on the top of the ladder, guess what they had? Bananas. Bananas at the top of this ladder. Obviously, monkeys are very motivated for bananas. And all they would have to do is climb up this ladder and grab the bananas if they wanted them. But what would happen is, as soon as they start to climb up this ladder to go for the bananas, an ice cold shower would come down on the entire room. Okay? So as soon as one of them went up that ladder, whew, down it came. They did not like the icy cold rain. And so what would happen is they got to a point where the monkeys wouldn't allow each other to go up the ladder, because they knew if they didn't go up the ladder for those bananas, no icy rain. Now what happened was they took one monkey out of that situation and they put in a brand new monkey. And this brand new monkey knew nothing, okay? Nothing about the icy rain. So of course he comes in the room, there's the 4 old guys there that are like, oh, don't go up that ladder. But this one new monkey doesn't know any better. He starts to go up the ladder. The 4 monkeys grab him, pull him down, and beat him. And every time he tried to go up that ladder, they beat him again, to the point where he would not go up the ladder for fear of being beat up. Now this progressed over time. They kept taking out one of the old monkeys, putting in a new monkey. Every time the new monkey would go in, they would in turn try to go up the ladder. But the old monkeys would pull him down and beat on him until the point they not go up the ladder for those bananas. Eventually, they took out the 5 original monkeys that were there at the very beginning, the 5 that have actually experienced the icy cold water before. Now they're all out of the room, and we got 5 brand new monkeys in this room. And what's most interesting is these 5 new monkeys, no one ever goes up for those bananas. No one. They don't. They don't know why they don't go up that ladder for those bananas, which they really want. They just don't. And I bet you if you could talk to those monkeys and actually sit in on a conversation, they'd be sitting around looking at that bananas and asking themselves, well, why don't we go for those bananas? And they're going to look at each other and they're going to say, well, you know what? It's just what we've always done. Ask yourself, you know, like really, when you start thinking back on past experiences and some of your core beliefs, why do you have these core beliefs? What brought that into your life? Is it true? And I think you'll really start to find that most of them, probably all of them, have zero bearing, zero truth. And yet we believe them just because we believe that that's the way it's meant to be. Self-limiting beliefs. Don't let them limit you. All right? You're going to challenge that. Challenge that belief. Think about your mind this way. Your mind is a room. Your brain's in the middle of it. You have 5 monkeys and a ladder in there, and bananas at the top of that ladder. Well, all those little monkeys are actually representative of parents, representative of ex-bosses or current bosses, friends, no friends, right? Enemies. It are the people in your life that have told you you can't do certain things. These voices have kept you from going up that ladder and achieving whatever it is you want on top. In this instance, a banana. So what I want you to do is you're going to charge up that ladder. You're going to grab those bananas, and then you're going to turn tail and sprint. And you're going to run away from all those existing monkeys. Because who cares about them? Don't worry about them. They're not going to hold you back anymore. Because the only one that can truly make the change and truly achieve what they want to achieve is the person holding that banana, which is going to be you. So with that, have a wonderful day 11. I'd love to hear how that exercise goes with you challenging your self-limiting belief or beliefs. And please share your experience. Share what's real for you. We're a community here. We're here to support each other. We're here to uplift one another. And ultimately, here to change together. Be great, guys. And I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.